Welcome back to the channel. This is Gillis TV here today, folks, and we got some rumors out of the Tampa Bay Rays organization. But before we get started, make sure you hit that subscribe button and that like button as we are trying to get to 5,000 subs by the end of this month. And thank you guys for all your support who has been with the channel over the last month or so. Clemhawks, Yak, himself, and I are greatly appreciative of that. Now, let's get into this. The Red Sox are making Bobby Dalbec available in trade talks, according to Sean McAdams of the Boston Sports Journal. McAdams adds that the Rays are one of the teams that has expressed interest. Dalbec, 27, is coming off a down year in Boston where he just hit 215 with 12 home runs and ultimately found himself optioned back to the minors in September. Dalbec struck out a whooping 33.4% of the time against an 8.2 walk rate. All told, that was good for a WRC plus of 80 or 20% worse than the league average. A former top 100 prospect, Dalbec burst onto the stage in the big leagues with an impressive, if short, sample in 2022. That year he hit 8 home runs in 23 games and an amazed 151 WRC plus. Although he did strike out 42.4% of the plate appearances, he came back to earth a bit in 2021, although still provided above average production, slashing a 240 average with 25 home runs in 133 games. Dalbec came through the minor league as a third baseman, but has spent most of his time in the big leagues at first. He did log some time at third while also making a couple short cameos at both middle and infield positions. He was below average at first base with outs above average, making him a -1, and defensive runs saved a game was -6 this year. It's not been an easy path to much playing time in Boston for Dalbec, particularly coming off of a poor season. Tristan Casas made his debut in 2022 and looks to get plenty of reps at first or DH, possibly splitting time with Eric Hosmer. If he stays on the roster over at third, Rafael Devers is locked in at third next season, at least, so it makes some sense that the Red Sox might see what they could get for a former top prospect still young enough to turn things around. Ever since trading Ji-Man Choi to the Pirates, the Rays have looked likely to be in the market for a first baseman. They've already linked a non-tender Dominic Smith, and Dalbec would make sense for them as a buy low bounce back candidate. The right-hander hitter is still 1 year away from being arbitration eligible, so there'd be a decent amount of appeal there for smaller market teams in particular. While the Rays make plenty of sense as a trade destination, it's likely there'd be a few teams interested. Perhaps some of the views to moving him back to third base. After all, Dalbec is only a year removed from a solid 106 WRC plus season, and plenty of teams will surely take the chance on him as a cheap power hitting bench bet with the starter upside should he rebound. Now, Dalbec is one of those guys. Being a Blue Jays fan, we've seen a lot of Boston. We saw some of Bobby Dalbec, and he can hit. And like the article said, that was going to be my main point today is the Rays are in for a first baseman. I don't think Dominic Smith is the solution in a sense. I think he's part of the solution, not the full solution for first base. Maybe go after Dalbec. He's 27, still has a year until arbitration. There is a lot of upside to this guy. Where if you could get a hitting coach to say, hey, on these pitches, you're good, just lay off of them, don't strike out as much, Dalbec becomes a pretty solid hitter when he's not striking out, and that would be huge for the Tampa Bay Rays, as Dalbec had 317 at bats last season for a 215 average, 12 home runs, 39 RBIs, and added some speed to the bag with 3 stolen bases. Over the course of his career, he's had 814 at bats with a 232 average, 45 home runs, 133 RBIs, and 5 stolen bases. So there's no doubt in my mind he can bring that power hitting momentum to this lineup and also cash in some runs. But let me know what you guys think if you're Rays fans. If you're not Rays fans and you just don't want to see the Rays get Bobby Dalbec, let me know in the comments, as this has been Gillis TV here on the channel. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'll catch you on the next one.